In this BDRSuite How-to series video, I'll guide you through the process of performing bare metal recovery using the direct streaming method. First, let me give you a quick overview. BDRSuite Bare-Metal Recovery allows you to restore the entire Windows server or workstation to new or existing hardware. Now let's get started. Open the BDRSuite Backup Server console. Enter the username, password, and click Sign In. Before we begin, please ensure you already have a disk image backup of the Windows server or Windows workstation you want to restore. You can find the link to the step-by-step guide for configuring disk image backup in the description box below. Navigate to the Recovery menu and click Restore Backup Data. Choose the backup job with the Windows machine you need to restore, and click on the Restore button. Select the Windows machine you want to restore. Then, choose the restore type as Bare Metal Recovery and click Next. Here, you'll see different options to perform bare metal recovery. If you have a stable network connection, either through LAN or WAN, choose the direct streaming method. This is crucial because with direct streaming, the backup data is transferred directly over the network from BDR Cloud to the bare metal host. Any network interruption could halt the BMR process. In this demo, I'll perform BMR using the direct streaming method. However, if you prefer to proceed without a network, you can choose the Download Disks method, where you manually download and copy the backup data to an external disk. For a how-to video on this manual method, check the link in the description box below. Next, let's talk about the ISO, which is a mandatory component for BMR. You can choose to use the BDRSuite standard ISO, which includes all necessary Windows PE packages and drivers. However, if you need a custom ISO, especially if your system requires specific drivers not included in the standard ISO, click the KB link and follow the instructions in the KB article. You can use the ISO builder provided to include additional drivers and create a custom ISO. In this demo, I'll use the BDRSuite standard ISO. Click the link and download Bare Metal Recovery CD ISO. Then, choose the direct streaming option and click OK, Proceed. This will generate the BMR authorization code required to initiate data streaming from the backup server to the bare metal host. Make sure to copy and keep this code handy. Next, you'll need to burn the bootable ISO to a USB drive or CD. In this video, I'll use the Rufus tool to burn the ISO to a USB drive, but you can use any tool you prefer. Open Rufus, select your USB drive as the device, then click Select to browse, and choose the ISO you downloaded earlier. After the boot selection, click Start. ISO files are now being copied to the USB drive. This may take a few minutes. Once the ISO is copied to the USB drive, you're ready to proceed. Insert the bootable USB drive into the bare metal host where you want to restore. Then power on the machine, ensuring the USB drive is set as the primary boot source. The USB drive will load the BDRSuite Recovery console. You will see the welcome screen of the Recovery CD console. Click Next to continue. Review and accept the license agreement, then click Next again. Choose the option Recover Disk Directly from Server, Direct Streaming. Then, click on the Configure Settings button. Network connection configuration is crucial as the direct streaming method requires a stable network connection to transfer the backup data from the backup server to the bare metal host. Data transfer will happen through LAN if the backup server and bare metal host are on the same network. If the backup server is outside the bare metal host's network, make sure the bare metal host is connected to a network with internet access. You can choose to obtain the IP and DNS addresses automatically or configure them manually. Then click Apply. Once the network configuration is completed, click Next to proceed. Now, enter the IP address or DNS name of the backup server. Depending on your deployment configuration, if the backup server is on the same local network, enter its private IP address. If the backup server is outside the network, enter its public IP address or DNS name. Then, enter the authorization code you copied earlier and click Connect BDRSuite Server to establish the connection between the bare metal host and the backup server. Once the connection is successful, the available restore points for the backup will be listed. Select the restore point from which you want to recover the data. Next, choose the disk you want to restore. All the backed up disks will be listed. Select a disk for recovery and click Next. Ensure the target disk has the same or higher storage capacity as the source disk. For example, if the source disk capacity is 50 GB, the target disk should also have at least 50 GB. Enable the driver injection option to install drivers when the source and target hosts have different hardware configurations, or if drivers were not properly installed during recovery. This ensures the drivers are injected into the restored disk. When enabled, make sure to browse and select the appropriate driver files. Please note that the target disk will be formatted before copying the backup data, and all existing data will be removed. If you're ready to proceed, click Next to initiate the bare metal recovery. The backup data will be streamed over the network, from the backup server to the bare metal host, and the data will be restored. The drivers have been installed successfully. Once the process is complete, you can view the summary of the injected drivers here. Once the restoration is complete, click Finish, and the machine will restart to boot up with the restored data, marking a successful bare metal recovery. Now it's your turn to try it out. If you need any assistance, please contact BDR support. Thanks for watching.